What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is August 17th of 2020. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. In today's video, we're not only going to be spending some time to do a broad cryptocurrency market overview, taking a look at Bitcoin, the broader altcoin market, some of the market leaders, and some of the plays we've been holding to keep on the edge of the market. But along with that as well, talking about some big developments. Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high in hash rate even after the halving event, and along with that as well, possible news for Edward Snowden coming back to the United States. So we've got lots of things to discuss right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's episode is Bitpanda Pro. Bitpanda Pro is the secure European exchange for crypto to fiat markets. Bitpanda has been offering secure, straightforward, and easy access to the cryptocurrency market in Europe for over 5 years and wants to offer the same service to more experienced traders, users using trading bots, and other advanced clients like cryptocurrency businesses and institutional investors. With the steady addition of more and more crypto to fiat trading pairs, Bitpanda Pro has made itself a convenient, secure, and trustworthy exchange to onboard or cash out easily. Check out the link down below in the description to learn more. Alrighty, everyone. So before I dive into the video here real quick, I want to ask you all, I've really considered doing it. It's been a while. So if any of you are interested in me doing a live stream on the DataDash channel sometime this week, maybe tomorrow or on Wednesday, let me know. I can book out the time for it, and we'll do it as a replacement for the daily update. Drop a comment down below. Give a like if you see another one that talks about it, and I'll consider doing it. But anyways, guys, just thought about doing that. Wanted to take a quick look across the board on the market because the major three players are relatively stagnant right now. No major moves over the last 24 hours as Bitcoin is building up to a pretty big technical pattern. Ethereum kind of consolidating sideways. However, we've got plenty of plays that are doing well. We've got Omise Go up 60% over the last 24 hours. Waves, one of our recommendations in our newsletter alerts group. We did a trade on this back a couple of days ago. We're already up well over 40-50%. Outside of that as well, Ocean Protocol, REN, Basic Attention Token, 0x, Tron, Fetch AI, BitTorrent, Aave, Reserve Rights, Quantum. There's so many different plays here going all the way down to Yearn Finance that are up 10% or more in the market, and the broader market, again, holding in a pretty relative haze of green, and the rest of it pretty much in a no-trend scenario. But we can see here that, again, there's a lot of consistency here. We've got REN, Ocean Protocol, 0x, Aave, Reserve Rights, a lot of these being decentralized finance plays. So again, it's very important to focus on that, and also some other plays like Omise Go that could help play as a role in the sense of plasma and scaling the Ethereum blockchain. Just to put this into context, though, guys, look here at the growth of DeFi. I remember I was watching this. This measurement has been going back for a while, but again, DeFi really started as a movement back here in kind of early 2019. This is when DeFi really became a well-known term to maybe some of the smaller groups within the cryptocurrency space. And we started to bundle some of the projects that were being built on top of Ethereum. Really, I remember watching back here in the day when Kyber Network was just launching, and also again in the early days here when Compound was coming to the forefront, to see $100 million locked up in DeFi or $200 million. That was a big milestone, and we kind of hung in that range for a long period of time until early 2019 when things again started to accelerate. And when we hit the big $1 billion figure, it was a lot, but man, did we blow past that, and are we at all-time highs here in regards to decentralized financial holdings. This is basically the total value locked up, or TVL, in regards to what's being held within DeFi projects. Maker still holding the crown here as they've started to take in Decentraland and a few other assets into their balance sheet for being able to generate DAI as a stablecoin. Aave, Curve Finance, Synthetics, Compound, Yearn Finance, Wrapped Bitcoin, accelerating at rapid rates. I want to give some kind of shout outs to some of these individual projects. I know that Wrapped Bitcoin has played a huge role in boosting DeFi as there's been more and more Bitcoin. In fact, nearly a doubling here almost within just a couple of weeks here. In the sense, the amount Wrapped Bitcoin, we can see here just the accelerated growth. If we take the all-time time frame here, it's just going absolutely parabolic or vertical now. Along with that as well, Maker's been having healthy growth, but we can see here over the last 24 days, REN VM getting a lot of love. We've been talking about REN. It's been one of our top 10 coins for the year since all the way back here in June that we talked. Actually, sorry, this is actually June of 2020. We talked about it back in June of 2019. So it's really awesome to see here as the actual mainnet has launched that they've been getting an acceleration and have more than doubled, actually practically tripled their assets here in just about a week. So this is fantastic to see, guys. Again, if the focus is not on DeFi, you're likely not going to be in a lot of these plays, guys. And in regards to that, if you're not in these kind of plays or focusing on these kind of categories, you're going to probably be missing out to some degree. Now, again, looking here at the long-term chart, we've got the breakout of the wedge here, Bitcoin holding exactly where it needs to be. One thing that's very important to note here, if we turn off our drawings and just focus on price action, this is looking like an ascending triangle here. We've got basically our top of resistance here, and along with that as well, we've got our higher lows here that are being set. Again, generally speaking, higher lows, flat top, ascending triangle. This usually leads to a breakout. Now, again, I'm going to be waiting to see what happens here because this is almost appears a little too obvious, but we'll see what happens here if we can kind of have a solidified close above 12,000. We have yet to get that here and these highs here. So if we can get that, I think it's going to be a pretty big confirmation that we're going to follow through and go towards our target of 13K in the short term, right? And again, after that, probably see some kind of consolidation. Now, taking a look at altcoins here, guys. It's looking fantastic. We've got the SMS indicator here holding ever since back here in late June, right? Since we had the breakout here, consistent 5 points here on the weekly, exactly what we want to see. Even better here than the consistency of what we had back here. It was just a little bit more fast-paced as we had more room to grow back then. But a nice steady uptrend here, very healthy, showcasing that a lot of the small and mid caps are starting to really make massive multiples. ETH is gaining some serious traction back in the market. A lot of other protocols doing the same. So again, very, very nice stuff. And again, I don't really see much significant resistance for this. You could say that this support range here, and it's a big even, 40 points, we might see some turn back here. So we'll keep an eye out for this. But again, so far, we're not fighting the trend. And there's no real significant resistance here in this case. We're actually kind of riding up well beyond some of the lows back here around 38. We've kind of gone beyond that. So outside of that as well, Ethereum's continuing the trend outside of the breakout of the ascending triangle. Another consistent 5 points here since back here in late June. Looking fantastic. Not, ridiculous, fast-paced movement. Nice, steady upward movement here. This is what we like to see here for longer-term trend formulation. More than anything, we want to be able to set in a higher low here above this line of previous resistance. I don't think we're even going to come down this low here, but I do believe we could see a pullback maybe in Ethereum as we test up here towards this previous resistance in the past here, around 4 million Satoshis. So we'll see what happens. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the plays that we've been watching, some of the altcoin movers. Waves has been one of our plays here. Now, you'll notice here probably that we're looking at Waves to Ethereum. Now, Waves is another protocol. It's been in the crypto space for a long time. But this is just an example I wanted to share with you all as to how we're viewing the market here. Now, I'm constantly talking and kind of berating you guys about the topic of ratios. And again, ratios are kind of a subjective term. Waves to Bitcoin or ETH to Bitcoin could be a ratio because you're, ratioing the performance of Waves to Bitcoin in this case, right? You're trying to see which one's outpacing one another. But whether it's the indexes that we build, the ratios that we build to, get altcoins to altcoins, this is a great example of how you can take a step further than just looking at an altcoin to Bitcoin, and that is looking at it compared to Ethereum. And sometimes you're lucky enough to have a pair where there's a direct trading pair of an altcoin that you're trading to Ethereum. Now, this has been one that we are watching here, and I want to go ahead and share a bit of our rationale here and why we're still long on the trade here in regards to the alert that we sent out, at least I am personally, is because if we just take a look here at price, right? This is a chart of Waves against Ethereum, and we can see here historically that there was actually a lot of resistance here as this previous level here of around 8, I think it's around technically, if you want to be specific about it, 800,000 fractions of Ethereum. It's basically if you're using the same kind of digit range here compared to Bitcoin. But all in all here, ignoring the numbers, you can see that this was a very consecutive resistance range here because it was previous significant support in the past before the rally. And we can see that we actually, for the first time since all the way back here in September, have actually broken above that level, right? Of course, we were hanging above this level for a long period of time back in 2019, but this is the first time we had a breakout here. What happened last time? We climbed all the way up here towards around 14 million here in this case, right? Or sorry, 1,400,000, right, on the ratio. So that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for a continuation here, for the trend to continue going upward. The volume breakout here, the biggest month of volume here for the pair, in a long period of time. So this is the kind of stuff we want to look for, guys. It's these kind of trends that we want to trade off of. And again, just keep an eye on these different ratios. See what altcoins are outpacing Ethereum. If you're beating out Ethereum, you're doing well, because Ethereum's doing phenomenal as an asset, right? Now, outside of that as well, we have other different plays here. Omisego doing well. Omisego came down on, again, previous resistance, made it support on its pullback. Follow through. This is exactly what we want to see. And taking a step back here, Omisego might be a play we want to watch if it's going to do anything close to the levels that it used to be against Bitcoin or Ethereum. So this is something I'm definitely going to be watching for. Aave, continuing through, absolutely crazy. Don't really have much explanation for this. I just did a conversation with Stani. I've been friends, with a lot of the major DeFi project founders for some time, or at least I've kept up with them. And I really have no idea how Aave is going this fast, but it's really good to see. I think people, again, are just excited about DeFi, but again, I'm not really looking to buy these kind of vertical tops. Ren is probably one of the few exceptions here because it's a bit of a smaller market cap crypto, but again, still looks a bit overextended. Looks like it could take a little bit of a pullback before following through. Kava, in this case, looking phenomenally well. I know, again, speaking to that point here about pullbacks, I would usually say that this is, it's at an all-time high in this case. But the key thing to keep in mind here is I talked about on CoinMarketCap recently. I was doing there was a cha-cha chat session. That's the thing that they're doing now, where you analyze a specific chart. Kava has a beautiful chart here. Constant pullbacks to previous resistance, making it support, coming up to new highs, making previous resistance, new support, climbing up higher. I mean, guys, we got long on Kava back here in June. About a 4.5x against Bitcoin here. Phenomenal price action. Just a couple of months too. So really great stuff. Now you're going to start seeing a lot of the smaller cap protocols as well, like enterprise protocols like Phantom and Pearl, and plays of that sort doing well. But again, I'm going to be watching for these to get past these points of resistance, because once it gets past these, it's just going to climb most likely and start to do a full initial listing reversal, an ILO or an IEO reversal in this case, similar to an IPO reversal. And one last thing as well, we also are watching Matic here. This is one that we posted our newsletter group. We entered in, I think it was 236 was when we entered on the trade, at least for I did in this case. And so far it's been doing well. Waiting to see if we can break above this 300 sat resistance, and if we can, climb on through. So again, very phenomenal trades here, guys. Again, if you're interested in kind of keeping up with what we're trading on the newsletter, you guys are welcome to. But I like to give you guys like some focus points of what I'm watching for. That's why I share sometimes some of the trades we do in the group here on the channel. Just want to let you all know about some of the things that I'm watching. But all in all, again, a lot of great things. Finally as well, BAT making a move. Thank God, BAT. And holding again, we can extend our chart here on that critical support. This has been a trade we've been watching for some time, but it looks like if we can get above a significant close above this kind of resistance range below 3,500 sats, then I think BAT could be a good trade. The momentum will finally have set in. So enough talking about the charts here for today, guys. I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the news here. Bitcoin hash rate hitting an all-time high here at a 12K price target in sight. Now, again, this is something that I think a lot of people usually kind of are excited about. I think more than anything, it just kind of proves that the halving event is negligible in regards to having any kind of effect on Bitcoin's price in the long run. I would say this is not what I meant to say. I apologize, guys. Taking a step back and correcting myself. What I meant to say is that the halving event had a negligible effect on hash rate. And again, the reason being is that what you tend to get is a supply cut in the overall available Bitcoin, which tends to play in the supply and demand dynamics of Bitcoin, driving up price, and therefore miners can start to operate at more of a profit, right? Again, Bitcoin has a way of working in this case, and it tends to work out quite well. So again, we're working up towards around 130 terahash, or sorry, maybe I'm getting it wrong. It might be 130 million. No, I would say probably not terahashes in that case. So I would say 130 terahashes. Yeah, because I was getting mixed up by the symbol here. So again, massive amounts of energy, 130 terahashes per second. So what's my general take on this? For those who may be curious, guys, I gotta say, and it's getting a bit ridiculous putting this much security into the Bitcoin network. and only getting 3 transactions per second. Now, I know some will say Lightning Network, things that sort. I got to say, when we're seeing blockchains like Ethereum and many other protocols going towards proof of stake, basically little to no energy consumption and broadcasting real-time transactions, trades, earning interest, doing all these interesting things, I kind of lose a bit of interest here. And it's starting to get to a point where, man, we're putting a lot of computational power and a lot of electricity into it to really not get much net return. I think the biggest benefit here is that more than anything, not so much the transactions, but really the guarantee that, my Bitcoin is my Bitcoin. There's the security of me holding it and no one tampering with it. I guess that's what you could say is the argument here, but I'd really love to see more DeFi come into Bitcoin. We're just not seeing it yet. There's a few projects like Money on Chain, and things that sort that are doing like a MakerDAO style system for Bitcoin. There's Kava, which is bringing in assets like Bitcoin, but we got to see more scalability. We got to see more transactions, and along with that as well, more privacy, more standout features for Bitcoin, more programmability here so Bitcoin can step itself into DeFi. I'd really like to start seeing this. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I hold some Bitcoin, guys. I'm not bearish on it. And I think Bitcoin's going to 100K. But I think in the long run, we're going to need to see more use case for Bitcoin here in the decentralized finance space. And again, taking a look at this chart here, this really just puts it into context where we are in regards to the hash rate here. Practically untouched. So, last thing I wanted to talk about, not to dive too much into really politics per se, but I wanted to say that I'm very, very excited about this news here, that there's actually been word here from Donald Trump himself, actually, that he might be considering a pardon on Edward Snowden. Now, this is absolutely phenomenal news, guys. I think, knowing that Snowden has been away after 7 years, and knowing that even, for example, Trump had a relatively negative opinion on him back in the day, to see him actually taking this position is really, I think, a turning point here for our discussion of, basically privacy preserving, preserving privacy in this case in the modern society that we live in. And along with this, while having a big figure for the cryptocurrency space back in the US feeling a lot safer than he did before. I think this would be phenomenal. So just wanted to share this. Thought it was really cool. This is the quote here that Snowden had put out on Twitter. He said, "The last time we heard a White House considering a pardon was 2016, when the very same Attorney General who once charged me conceded that on balance, my work in exposing the NSA's unconstitutional system of mass surveillance had been a public service." Phenomenal stuff. It's funny how people, sometimes your greatest enemies can end up being your greatest friends in the long term once you're patient enough and you keep talking, you keep standing up for your views. I think it's a very beautiful time, guys. So hopefully we can get him back. I think, people like Snowden, I don't really know how to put it in words, guys. I get a bit kind of choked up. I remember back in the day when I was first getting interested in kind of politics and, understanding central bank monetary policy. I was very libertarian at the time, to be honest with you guys. I remember trying to share with people that, this stuff was going on. There were drones over American skies, things like that, and it was so amazing, not really amazing, but it was so nice to at least see that it wasn't just kind of crazy to think that things like this were happening. I always try to take things at a very practical mindset, but Snowden really opened up our eyes to the kind of level of data collection that goes on in the world today. So again, hopefully we can respect people like Snowden who take that kind of leap forward to stand for civil liberties, stand for privacy, and stand for a better future that's more transparent. And make sure to keep governments in check. Anyways, don't want to get on a rant there, guys. I just thought that would be good news for the vast majority of you out there in the crypto space, so I thought I would share it. All in all, though, what are you all watching in the market right now? Again, if you're interested in me doing a live stream, drop a like and a comment that you see that's talking about it. If you guys like this video, drop a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't, hitting the bell icon so you don't miss another video. And outside of that as well, if you want to support the channel, there's all types of ways you can support us throughout the space. So it'll all be found in the description down below of the video. That all being said, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned, everyone.